Okay, we're gonna give another like 30 seconds for just people to come into the room. But while we wait, drop in the chat. Let's do a little tech check. Can you hear us real quick? Drop it in the chat. Let us know you can hear it. Perfect. Thank you, Amanda. So that means we set it up right, which is a good first start. Okay, let's now kick it off. So I want to welcome everyone to Workflow Live. If this is your first time to this series, it's a recurring series that's all about helping you build better workflows. And we do this by bringing real firm owners, just like you, to show how they're setting up the workflows in their firm so you can get insights on how to level up your processes. But the thing that's great about these events, it's not just us talking about them, right? You're going to see us talk about it, walk through it. But if you like what you see and you feel like it's something you can implement in your firm, you're going to get that template today so you can easily start implementing it right away. Because ultimately what we're trying to do is help everyone in the accounting industry as a whole build better workflows through community and collaboration. And given that's our vision, I want to ask a favor. So if you get value out of today, or if you feel like you have workflows that other firms could get value from, I want to ask that you guys go and share it to our template library. So if you're a Financial Sense user, you'll see an option to share a template and share it live to our template library. We have hundreds of firms just like you sharing their templates and processes. And Dave's going to show you where his is on the template library as well. So you can see what it's all about if you haven't seen that. But that being said, let's go ahead and kick this off. So I want to introduce Dave Kersting, who's the founder of Capivario today, and going to be sharing his processes. Welcome, Dave, again.
I know, again, and thank you so much for having me. I love Financial Sense and how much it's organized my firm. Specifically that, my team is probably the biggest spokespeople for Financial Sense and what we do. So today we're excited to kind of talk about what is month-end close. And if you look at it, it's kind of like the month-end close plus, because it's more than just talking about how to do the day-to-day checklisty stuff. But also dives into way more information. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started.
Let's do it. I'm excited. Month-end close plus. I like that.
So the first thing that you need to know is, where do you find the library? So obviously they put that in for everyone to see. But if you're inside of Financial Sense and you're in templates, you go right here and you can see it's the Open the Library section. When you open the library, if you just search in here at the top for month-end close, you'll also find my month-end close plus sitting here. But as you can see, there's so many different options in the library across the board. And Jenny over here, she's just been the rock star. She's had 494 downloads, and it's kind of like a competition a little bit. But, accountants, we love competition. Jenny, of course, we love you because you're in the top 4. For anything that she does. But she's just really good at what she does, and creating the templates. So today we're going through this month-end close plus. Now, why do I call it the plus? It's because we're doing client tasks. We're doing team tasks. We are also doing reviewer subtasks, reviewer tasks, quality assurance and controls, and month-end client meeting. That's a lot to happen in one project. Now, remember, in Financial Sense, you get to customize this the way you want. So some people might customize this into many projects instead of just one. What I found is I like clarity and I like everything to be easy for me to locate. And I want to make sure that my team can see what other people are doing. So right off the bat is this client task workshop. So please upload to Sync, which is the software we use for storing our documents at the moment. But we are moving into all of the Financial Sense storage because we believe, why not keep it all in one place? Were there any fixed assets purchased? Any new loans obtained this month? These are just questions we're asking the client just to make sure we're staying on top of what we're doing. The next section is really more talking about what is the team working on. So again, you can assign it through your automations or your roles to any person that you want. We've assigned it just to the bookkeeper that then would assign from the template to whoever's in charge of this particular client. Now, In my firm, I like everybody to see everything. So I want my non-bookkeepers for that client to also see what's going on. So when we create the actual project, everybody has access. Now that might seem like overkill, but I want to make sure that if somebody's out for the day or they're out sick or there's a situation that they can get in and work on that. So in here, this is your basic. This is kind of like everybody knows what a month end checklist is and what they need to be doing. The things that we do different is this top one is just checking bank feeds. We're going to break it down by each account number that is the bank, each credit card number, so that there's a checklist for what needs to be happening. We're also going to have what is in accounts receivable. So when you open it, there's no description here. I kind of did that on purpose because each one of us has a different way of saying what we need. My team, along with the profit constructors, worked together to create a description like this, where it's verify the accounts, cross-check this, run an open invoices report, very detailed on what they need to do. Not everybody needs to see that in a description every time they open it. So some of our templates have this, some of them don't. Some of them are just rerouted to a different document that we can update once instead of updating in every project. Remembering that all of these are individual items that need to be accomplished, like fixed assets, review fixed assets, anything over 2,500 should, or anything under should not be in the fixed assets area. So then it's about moving it into what we call CapEx. So ex-CapEx is a different place inside of our chart of accounts that just kind of helps keep it organized for a CPA or their tax professional to make that decision. Or we do that in the month-end meetings. Again, very simple, organized. And you can see, I've also got in this template things that may or may not apply. So if necessary, do they use locations? Do they use payroll? Now, here's a little trick. When we create this for the client, we keep those inside of the workflow for that client, even if the client doesn't use it. Now, why would we do that? That's just one more place for us to check. It's because I want my team to say, oh, we don't do payroll for them, but let's still look at it really quick and see what's going on the month end, see if there's any questions, problems, concerns that are happening. And then we can then upsell, if you will, to our clients and say what's going on. As we kind of work through it, you can see that we have download statements. You know, we have access to most of the client data. If we don't, it's in that client section, client requests, that we're going to send it through the portal, asking them to upload for us. But if not, we're going to here have that checkpoint again. Do we have the statements downloaded? Now, why would I want to download statements with we're using QBO and it already has the statements there? Part of the reason is that I want to have the valid document that it's saved on my software so that if I have any future questions or need to pull a bunch of them at the same time, it's easier for me to do that. This is my favorite section here is our task is the reconciliation of all accounts. The worst thing that I can find when I'm creating a workflow is having to toggle between different tasks to confirm that everything has been reconciled. In this case, we are going to write every single bank, every single credit card, every single balance sheet item, and any of the liability accounts, loan payables, all in one place. So now we're checking it off so that I can visually see everything for this client in that month. This helps me as the reviewer, but it also helps the team know what do they have left, because it's going to give them that percentage or give them that number. Hey, I reconciled 18 of 100 accounts. So they know how much work they have to do so they can plan in their days or on their calendars. Then they have their own, the bookkeeper final review and confirmation. Then they go in and set the password. And then they hand off. Now, we use Slack for the handoff in an internal channel that says, hey, reviewer, you can do this. So the next section is reviewer subtasks. So why would I have this first? Well, this reviewer subtasks is anything that the bookkeeper identified that might be something we need to talk about. They're going to add a task here, and they're going to tell us what it is. The reviewer might also have tasks that they put in that they want to ask back and forth. We're going to go there so we kind of know what we were talking about and we're tracking, did we do on those items? Mm-hmm. The reviewer tasks are much simpler. In our world, we use the books review inside of Intuit. The reason why we do that is because it's kind of broken down. It has review bank transactions. It's all there. So why not use it? This is a simple overview of, did this get done? This is not quality. This is just, did we check the box? Then we get to quality. Quality is also control. So we're looking for, did the right thing happen when it was supposed to happen? Is this valid? Is it the way it's supposed to be? Or do we need to ask more questions? So we're going to identify and investigate trends on financial reports. That's more than just, did this bank account get reconciled? This is, oh, they went, on their electric bill has doubled. Why? Or they paid something that they never have paid before, like a property insurance for a new property we didn't know about. That might be some things. We're going to investigate long-standing AP items. Hey, this has been on the books for more than 90 days. Is this something that we are collecting or not collecting? This is a quality assurance control of understanding high level and being prepared for your month-end meeting to be able to add really good questions and get nice responses.
Question. So how do you go about communicating with the client when you have questions about like certain transactions or that you get from your quality assurance? Are you scheduling just a 30-minute meeting to do so?
At this point, what we've been doing it is, if it's a simple question, then we're going to use the portal and ask the question, have them upload or answer, and or use one of our other softwares. But most of this is just preparing the information for us to then meet in our month-end meeting with the client with these questions. And we try to be organized enough that we can preempt them. Here's all the things we're going to ask so that they know what's coming and they might be able to answer beforehand. So they're not like caught off guard. But that's a good question. Like, when do you do it? We could do this right away, or we could push it back through this reviewer subtask to my internal team saying, hey, can you get this answer for the client? And that way, again, the bookkeeper is the one that's talking with the client, not the reviewer or the quality assurance person. Then we have the month-end close meeting. So that's really just setting up the meeting date, preparing all of the data that we want to have put into place, identifying any needs the client might have, preparing talking points, getting to that advisory stuff. And over here at Capivara, we call it concierge consulting. We're gonna give them more than they expect from us, and we're gonna give it to them in a format in which makes sense to them. So I think it's really important to be detailed and be organized. But when do I do the advisory services? When I'm doing the month-end client meeting, and when do I just get the stuff I need from the client? Hey, you haven't given me this bank statement that I needed, or hey, you haven't answered these questions. We recommend that the first 15 minutes is just cleanup. It's just, hey, I need you to do this. Hey, let me show you how to get that. And if my whole meeting is spent just collecting data or getting things answered, I've still accomplished. Then we will set up another meeting to do the reports, and or we'll send a Loom video over with all the same data. That is the full-blown, lots of information smacked into one project. Again, you can create these as separate projects if you want, instead of having them as sections. And you can create your automation so that when this one project is finished and it opens up the next project for the quality control person, we just like to see what's going on across the board between all team members.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a big thing we see. I think a lot of people debate in financial sense. Do I break it out into several projects or one project? And we've seen that the one project is favored. It's better. It's more organized. You can follow the process through and through, and it's better at tracking. And groups has helped. Like I really liked the way you grouped all the different sections, like in quality assurance and review. It kind of keeps it from being just one giant, massive task list that kind of just where things can get lost in translation.
And that was a game changer when the sections came up, and being able to group like that was a game changer for how we organized ourselves, because we used to do it as individual projects. And then we felt overwhelmed because we had so many projects for the same clients that were like, where are we? What do we need to click on? And we're spending more time trying to figure out what to do instead of here's what we're going to do. like knowing ahead of time and being able to calendar block what things are available.
So there is one question. How can we set a reminder for a monthly payment with a payment figure?
If you're doing, if you're using proposals and billing inside of Financial Sense, I believe that that's going to give you the information that you need. But if you want to have that one step further, you can create it and add it to your month end close, and you can say, here's the reminder, and you can set that as a reminder in your project or in your task. But I think that there's plenty of different ways to make that happen, and with your reminders.
So this next question is from Diane, and I can take this one. So Diane asks, could that quality assurance section eventually be automated with the month-end close process that Financial Sense is working on? And answer is yes. So for those of you that don't know about this yet in Financial Sense, we're going to be releasing a month-end close automation tool. And basically what that means is you'll be able to integrate deeper into your client's ledger and set up automated rules to run all these checks, right? So like, for example, Dave was talking about if something increases drastically in price, it'll automatically flag it. Or if something is uncategorized, it's flagged. Or if something doesn't have a vendor associated, it's flagged. So like you could set up all the rules to automatically flag all the inconsistencies you will look for from file to file, which is great for you because it saves you time. But it's great for your firm because it allows you to, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it simplifies the process so you can easily delegate that to a team member. So it despecializes it, maybe is the word. There's a word I've heard, I think Jason used that I liked. Yes, the answer is yes. And what's really cool, and this is why I was curious, Dave, and I was asking, like, when do you ask your clients about these transactions, is not only are you going to be able to run that automated report to identify the inconsistencies, but as you see things, you can instantly ask your client about them from inside Financial Sense without leaving. They'll respond. And then once you get the answer, you'll be able to edit and update the transaction all within Financial Sense, not having to go to QBO. So you can collaborate on the transactions and then update them and then push it to QBO, all without leaving Financial Sense, all while tracking it all in one place, and really giving your team more visibility, allowing you to delegate that, but also just saving a lot of time. So that is coming. We're releasing the first version at the end of this month privately, and then next month it'll be going public. So Diane, if you are interested in that, reach out to the team and we can let you into the initial release.
And remember, I'm super excited. I've been waiting for this for years, and I feel like this is going to be a game changer for all of us in how we manage our month-end close. And the template that I provided is still a great template for what you're going to do, and then you're going to be able to modify it and say, hey, now that I'm using the month-end close process from Financial Sense, here's how I'm going to edit what I need versus what might be more automated, and how can I ask questions faster. And then on my team, who's going to do that? Is that the bookkeeper right away? Is that the quality assurance person? I don't know, but we're excited for that to come out. And like I put in chat, look us up at Next Level Firm Roundtable. It is provided by Financial Sense. It's about workflow. It's about Financial Sense features. And it's a great group every month on the third Wednesday of the month. Spectacular involvement.
Yeah, definitely. The Next Level Firm Roundtable is awesome. If you haven't gotten it, it's a great way to connect with other users. It's a great way to understand how other people are using Financial Sense and get answers to some of those questions you just always have that are pretty technical. Okay, so there's another question. Miriam, it's called Next Level Firm Roundtable. Do we have a link, Dave, that you could drop into the chat by any chance?
Second, that link.
So while he's doing that, there's another question of how can I send a monthly reminder email for payments or other matters without directly instructing the client to complete the task? So with client tasks, you could send automated monthly emails with reminders, right? Now, if you didn't want to use the client task functionality, if you are invoicing on a Financial Sense, you can also set up recurring invoices. with reminders as well, or send invoices. And what's really cool is with the invoicing integrated, soon you're also going to be able to trigger those invoices from a project if you want. So if you're like working on a project, you hit a certain milestone, you can automatically have that note to send the invoice to a client. And if you're tracking time to the project as well, it could accumulate the time associated with that project and create the invoice based off that as well. So all those are options. I think I'm saying it right, Bohair. But all those are options. And I hope that answered your question. And then Dave just dropped a link to Next Level Firm Roundtable. If that is something you guys are interested in attending, it's a great event to talk with the users to get your questions answered.
And to just remind everybody, it doesn't cost a dime. You can show up and just participate. You can be in the background if you don't want to participate. But we have a lot of fun. We try to work through problems. So if you have a specific problem in your firm or specific question, or even you're like, hey, I'm a rock star in this one area. We love to just collaborate with each other and be able to assist. And we do a lot of work also in the Facebook group for Financial Sense. So if you're not a part of the Facebook group, make sure you get in it, because Sharam's in there and he's always talking and we love it.
Yeah, it's a great place for our team to get a lot of feedback on what you guys think about the product, where we should focus, how to build the next new big thing. There's been a lot of questions about the month-end close piece that's coming out. So it's a great place to have your voice heard and make sure we're building the right things and making the right decisions for you guys. Are there any other questions? Feel free to drop them in the chat. If there's not any other questions, and then I think we can go ahead and share the template. Charlotte, if you could push that through so people can, if you haven't already gone to the template library, you'll see now in the bottom right hand that you can get Dave's template for month-end close as well.
Yes, and again, it is a lot of fun to just go through and search that template library, because what you're going to find is things that you probably didn't even think you needed. So some things that we put in there are even like conference, checklists. What do I need to do before I go to one of the accounting or other conferences? What are things that I want to forget? So use it internally for anything that you want. And I think that you'll find it a very useful tool.
Agreed. Yeah, you can use your templates for anything we found. I mean, one of the most popular ones is leak tracking now. It wasn't designed for that, but wherever there's a process that you use in your firm or externally with the things associated with your firm, there's a template for it. And feel free to share those too if you have some that you're not seeing in there. Okay, I think that's all the questions. I want to thank you, Dave, for joining us again for Workflow Live. And I want to thank everyone for coming out here today to tune in. We hope you got value today. If you didn't get Dave's template, download it now. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our team. But thanks everyone for joining us. See ya.